Good evening. A 9-year-old boy with a muscle wasting disease has received the first supplies of a drug that could transform his life. Jagger Curtis from Romsey and his family have fought for years to be given the drug, which could help him walk for longer. Richard Jones has his story.
Jagger Curtis and his parents have known about the drug Translarna since the European Commission first approved it as a treatment for Duchenne muscular dystrophy more than 2 years ago. So today's arrival of his first month's supply came as a huge relief.
It's absolutely amazing. It's been a real roller coaster, but it's literally until we received it this morning, until it was literally in our hands. You're still waiting for the knockback, because then, you know, even after we attended the Translarna clinic, then there was a muck up with the delivery. It's going to be delivered on the 8th, and there's always been this ongoing, but we've actually got it in our hands now. So, yeah, it feels fantastic.
It's been a long battle. Jagger lobbied Downing Street and Parliament as part of a campaign to get it approved in the UK. It costs £18,000 a month over a potential 5-year period and wasn't sanctioned for use on the NHS until earlier this year.
It could have been a lot quicker, and I mean, I can see the research and the costs and stuff like that, but I just think it's shocking, really. But obviously we've got there in the end, and it could have been not, though. It could have been another knockback as well.
Jagger will take his first dose of Translarna tomorrow.
In the morning, and then at school at lunchtime-ish, and the evening.
And you've got no idea what it's going to taste like, do you?
No.
Let's hope it's all right.
Yeah.
The drug isn't a cure, but it can help keep children active.
Basically, Translarna will slow down Jagger's progress of Duchenne muscular dystrophy, so helping him be more mobile for longer.
So football mad Jagger will be able to carry on playing, both on the pitch and on the table at home. Richard Jones, ITV News.
In our news, fire has damaged a block of new retirement flats in Romsey. It broke out just after 7 tonight, but all the residents were evacuated and no one was injured. It's thought generators brought in to provide more power during building work may be to blame. 4 teenagers have been arrested after a 12-year-old girl was attacked and racially abused near a playground in Portsmouth. She was punched outside the Lamport Adventure Playground. She'd been left traumatised by the incident. Now, they've had virtually no train service for the past 11 weeks, but today trains started running again at Seaford in Sussex. Southern Rail cut more than 300 services over the summer. Some at last have now been restored, but there's more trouble ahead for commuters, as Malcolm Shaw now explains.
A rare sight in recent weeks, a train pulls into Seaford station in Sussex first thing this morning. The town was one of the worst hit when Southern introduced its so-called amended timetable back in July, the company blaming high levels of sickness among train crews. Many services were cancelled or replaced by buses, but here at least a full timetable has now been restored.
I have to get a train to college every day, so it made things awkward with them not being there, so it's good to have them back.
We haven't had trains for like nearly 3 months. It's just completely unacceptable.
The whole thing was a shambles as far as I'm concerned. The government aren't interested.
The cuts to Seaford's train services saw hundreds of people turn out to protest, angry the town had been all but marooned in a dispute over which commuters had no control. And even now there's concern about the future. Southern is consulting on changes to the timetable, which could see fewer direct trains to London or Brighton from 2018.
We really need our trains here. We are a commuter town. Many people come here simply for the commuter town. We do value our trains up to London, but also our trains to Brighton. They're both vital. They've both been in service for over 150 years. Why change it now?
More immediately, passengers face further disruption next month as the bitter dispute between Southern and the RMT union over the role of guards rumbles on. The RMT is planning 14 days of strikes in 5 blocks, starting on October the 11th and continuing until the 8th of December. So while the service here is back to normal for now, it seems plenty more trouble lies ahead. Malcolm Shaw, ITV News, Seaford.
Now, the leader of the Labour group in Portsmouth has quit less than 48 hours after Jeremy Corbyn was re-elected as party leader. John Ferret, a member for almost 30 years, says the party is no longer credible. The future also looks uncertain for Hove MP Peter Kyle. He has criticised Corbyn's leadership and now many are calling for him to step down. Our political correspondent Phil Hornby sends this report.
Welcome to the Jeremy versus Kyle show.
My name's Peter Kyle and I'm still the Labour MP for Hove and Hawkesbury.
The Hove MP has been one of Mr Corbyn's fiercest critics. Some pro-Corbyn Labour members in Brighton and Hove want to get rid of him. It's the most dramatic symbol of the battle going on inside the Labour Party. You know there are people down there who want to get you.
I do, but there are people out there that want to get me as well because they're called Tories. You know, this is the nature of politics.
Why don't you call off your attack dogs and support Peter Kyle and say he's the man you want to be the MP for Hove?
I don't have any attack dogs. I work with all my parliamentary colleagues. I work with everyone within the party because as a party we've come through a leadership election. It's over. We're now at the party conference. We're putting together a lot of very strong policies on employment, on economic development, and we're going to be working together to achieve good things for the future.
I want to state my position, I want other people to state theirs, and I want to negotiate around that. Let's have an open, honest discussion about the future of the Labour Party.
Do you think Peter Kyle is a good MP?
I think he works extremely hard and is a very good MP for his area, yes.
Would you discourage people who want to deselect him?
I've said to all of the members of the party, concentrate on the policies, work on the policies.
While Labour members in Liverpool were fighting like ferrets in a sack, one ferret 200 miles away decided he'd had enough. The leader of the Labour group on Portsmouth Council resigned from the party.
There's no way that I can go out and advocate for Jeremy Corbyn to be Prime Minister of this country, so I've come to the conclusion that I need to leave the Labour Party. He is incompetent and unable to do the things that a leader needs to do. I think people like Peter and the other MPs now need to break away.
I say to him and everybody else that's thinking of leaving the Labour Party at the moment that, you know, I stand here as an openly gay person. Many of the freedoms that I enjoy were given to me by the Labour Party.
So it seems the Jeremy versus Kyle show won't end with the MP leaving Labour. Phil Hornby, ITV News, Liverpool.
It's all happening at the Labour Party conference. And finally tonight, an airline worker has become the youngest person ever to captain a commercial jet. Kate McWilliams flies for EasyJet at Gatwick. She says some passengers are amazed that she's in charge, but overall reaction has been positive. Here's our transport correspondent, Mike Pearce.
She may only be 26, but as a day job, she's in charge of one of these. Kate McWilliams has been interested in aviation since joining the Air Cadets at the age of just 13. So how did she achieve the title of the world's youngest ever captain for a commercial airline?
I joined the Air Cadets when I was about 13, just found out about that through school. I went along and I just really enjoyed it. We got to do a bit of flying, gliding with them and yeah, I got the bug really.
What's the reaction been from crew and passengers?
I get asked my age a lot more now than I used to before. On an almost daily basis I get asked how old I am. Usually the reaction's quite positive when I tell them.
Has anybody sort of said you're a bit young?
There's been some looks of horror, but no, I've gotten to the destination safely, so they go away smiling.
Kate joins a growing number of women coming to the industry. Recent research found just 5% of crew in the cockpit were female. Airlines like EasyJet and British Airways say they're determined to improve.
If I could inspire young women to get into the industry, that would be a great achievement for me.
With flight crew getting younger, it's not known how long Kate will keep her record, but for now she's flying high. Mike Pearce, ITV News, Gatwick.
Fantastic achievement. Now, what's happening on the weather front over the next few days? With all the details tonight, here's Simon Parkey.
From sleet to the slopes, driving through Europe. Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Good evening, and it's a bit of a mixed bag of weather on offer over the next 24 hours. Tonight we are dry, we've got a fair bit of cloud, but the breeze is picking up, and after midnight we'll see some outbreaks of rain start to arrive as well. Nothing too tricky, mostly light and patchy, and it's fairly mild as well, 12 or 13 the overnight low. But come tomorrow morning it's going to be a bit grey and it's going to be a bit damp as well. Again, the rain just mostly light, so there'll be a fair bit of dry weather. Rain fizzling away through the morning. By the afternoon we'll see the cloud breaking up a bit, and temperature-wise, well, 18, 19 degrees is going in the right direction, with the winds easing through the day too.
Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
And that is all from us for tonight. We're back during Good Morning Britain from 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. But from me and from all of us here on the late team tonight, thanks for your company. See you tomorrow. Good night.